take a penny, which is what percent of a dollar? 1%. It's 1% of a dollar. That is not your chances of being a state champ. If you want to be a state champ, you got to kind of cut that penny, that 1%, into about 10 to 100 pieces, depending on how tough your state is. Okay? If you want to get to the point where you make the 15 to 20 on the NBA team, or you make the NFL practice squad, or you qualify for the Masters, that's taking that penny, that little teeny penny, that 1%, and cutting it into 1,000 pieces. That means 1/1,000th of 1% is your chance of becoming elite. You want to get to my level? And I wasn't even a superstar, but I placed top 10 in the World Olympics every time I participated. I was a Pan Am champ. I was a World Cup champ. I won 10 different international events and placed in 30. You want to get to my level? You got to cut that penny into 10,000 pieces. You want to be Jordan Burroughs? You want to be Michael Jordan? You want to be Tiger Woods? You got to cut that penny, that one little penny, into 100,000 pieces. That is statistically improbable for you to ever do that. And yet Jordan Burroughs did it. I did it. Not to his level. I was a state champ. I was a national champ. I made World Olympic teams. I don't say that to brag. I'm just saying it's possible. It's just not probable. But 3 things that I did write in this book, beyond just my story, and I write a lot of the way I speak. I like to have fun. You saw that I like to be intense, but I like to have fun. Same thing with the writing. Okay, so here are the 3 principles. Winning and losing do not define you. They direct you. Hear what I said? You're defined by winning, you're going to get arrogant. You're defined by losing, you're going to get hopeless, despondent. Winning and losing do not define you, they direct you. What do I do right? What do I do wrong? What do I need to build? What do I need to fix? That's an important thing to learn. Number 2, there's value in a road that doesn't end in a gold medal. And this is going to answer one of your questions about what happens if you don't get the... Listen, the title of the book is not all roads lead to gold. Did I say no roads lead to gold? No. Did I say that every road leads to gold? No, I said not all. Because life is full of ups and downs. So what happens when you are straining to be number 1 in the tournament? What do you do then when you don't get it? That's where grit comes in. That's when grit, you fight back for third. You fight back for third. Because there's value in a road that doesn't end in a gold medal. You want to know what? A lot of people say it's about the journey, but they don't really believe it. Because if they did, when they didn't get to the top, they would have the grit to fight back as far as they could go. The other option is just to quit. And we have a lot of quitters. People who don't want to fight back. Learn to fight. Because there's value in that. There's value in fighting to be the best that you can be, even if you don't get the results that you wanted. Because it's going to spill over into other parts of your life. You may not be the greatest wrestler in the world, but it'll make you a better businessman, a better husband or wife or father or mentor or mother, whatever it happens to be. It'll just make you better. So there's value in that road that you travel that doesn't end. It was for me. I'll tell you right now, if God came up to me right now and said, Jim, I'll let you redo your life. Even though you're 55 right now, I'll give you the same 16 years. I'll let you repeat it 16 years. It'll be the exact same as the 16 years before. Would you do it? Absolutely, I would do it. Absolutely, because I learned so much. It made me a better human being. I learned toughness, which is enduring pain. I learned compassion, which is helping other people endure pain. And then the last part of it is, we don't ever get comfortable with failure. We get comfortable pushing through failure. That's the beauty of the weight room. When I go to the weight room, I set a goal, right? And then I fail, get the goal. And then what do I do after I get my goal? Set a new one, right? And then I fail. So I'm always failing forward. I'm improving. So we don't get comfortable with failure. We get comfortable with driving through failure. That's so important. So important. So those 3 principles, heck, you could write a book report on that. What are the 3 principles of not all roads lead to gold? I just gave them to you. You got an introduction, you got 3 topics for each of the next 3 paragraphs, and you got a conclusion right there. And that's it. And then I talk about how do you go from broken family to making World Olympic teams. It's all in there. And here's the other thing, kids. Listen, I'm not talking at you, I'm talking to you. It's so important to read printed material. We're on our phones all the time. And you could be reading something. You could be reading a book on your phone or your iPad, but then all of a sudden Snap comes up, Instagram, TikTok, something pops up and you get distracted. And you say, no. Set it aside. Read the lives of other people who came before you and how they got good things. If you want to read about someone who had to scratch and claw their way to the top, that essentially I had to outwork and out-willpower everybody else around me. That was it. That's it right there. Read. Read books. And then journal. Take notes. You should be writing down 1 or 2 things that you learned today so you can bring it back to your room and do it so you have something for next year. You can spend 2 hours of learning it, and then you're going to forget it a week from now. You're like, oh, what did that little freak say? It was so good, I forgot. Write it down. Journal. And not notes on your phone. No. Get a pencil, because you're going to make mistakes, and write things down. If you want to be a state champ, listen, if you have a hammer day at practice, what time did I go to bed at night? Write it down. What time did I get up in the morning? What did I eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What did I do in that practice? Because then when you get to the state tournament, you want to know what you want to do. You want to recreate that day that you felt like a hammer. If you have a really crappy day, what time I go to bed at night? What time I get up in the morning? What did I eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What did I practice? What was the practice like that day? Because you want to avoid whatever you did that day. That's why you journal. Winning is a science. You can be a great athlete, but somebody who journals and works hard, they're going to outdo you every single time because they're going to take notes. They're going to figure out. They're going to make it scientific. They're going to beat you with brains. Okay? So that's book number 1. Book number 2. How many of you have seen a parent lose their mind at a sporting event? Right? All
in
of
the
us.
past 2 days.
Yeah. So I wrote a book to parents. It's a not all roads lead to gold, but it's a parent edition, completely separate to that one. Parents, how do we navigate youth sports? From little kids all the way to the Olympic level. My dad was an alcoholic, and I honor my father, but he was the best sports dad ever. For 30 years, the only thing I ever heard my dad say at any one of my events was, I love you and I'm proud of you. Win or lose. I would walk off the mat. The only time that my dad ever lost his mind was against one of my fiercest opponents, Dennis Hall. I read about it in there. We had a 15-year rivalry. It was awesome. It was epic. I love Dennis Hall. It made me the man today. We actually we're friends today. We weren't then. But one day, there was at the World Team Trials in 1999, Dennis beat me. He flexed in the crowd. My dad stood up and called him number 1. My wife came up to me and said, your dad just flipped off Dennis. I'm like, Dad. It's like, I'm sorry. It just makes me so mad. I'm like, try wrestling him sometime. So, great book for all parents to read. If I was a club coach, I'd make it non-negotiable reading. The last one, and again, I'm not here to push religion down anybody's throat. I'm not. But clearly I'm wearing a Jesus Christ is Life t-shirt, so I believe a certain way. Coaches are coming up, hey, I want to lead my athletes in a Bible study. Team captains come up, asking the same thing. Individuals coming up, how do I get through the Bible? I don't understand it. So from a coach and an athlete, I wrote a Bible study that has 101 studies about thriving spiritually in athletics and life to kind of guide you through Scripture. It asks some hard-hitting questions at the end so you can transform your life to be more Christ-like. If you know Christ, it's a great book to have. If you're searching, it's a great book to have. If you don't believe in that, it's not for you. I mean, it is, but you're not going to want to read it. So those are the 3 books I read. Whenever I do camps and clinics, I always give people discounts. So you buy 1 book, it's $15. You buy 2, it's $25. You buy 3, it's $35. So I knock $5 off of each book as you go on. And I take clearly cash, but I've got Venmo and a card reader on my phone. Now, I did have a couple of questions. I answered some of them. What are some things as a coach that you wish incoming college wrestlers were better at? Gymnastics and core strength. How did I start off this practice? What do we do the first half hour of this practice? Yeah, exactly. We did gymnastics, core, and balance. If I was president of the United States, and I honestly think I could do a better job than the last 5 presidents we've had. And that's not even being arrogant. I think it's a pretty low bar. Okay? With that being said, if I were president of the United States, probably the only executive order I would have is every kid from 5 until 11 would have to be a part of some tumbling or gymnastics class so they would learn body control. How are you going to control another human being if you can't even control yourself? I watched all of you try to balance today. We were struggling a little bit. We had one that was pretty good at it, but still not as good as me. And I'm 55, 2 shoulder surgeries, 2 knee surgeries, and I can outdo you. Why? Because I've been doing it for years. I know how to control my body, which makes it easier for me to control other human beings. So learn to control you first. And that comes with core, balance, the gymnastics. And then, of course, the other part of that is we overcompete and undertrain in this country. You wrestle 200-300 matches a year, and you wonder why you have adult onset injuries in middle school and high school. It's because you're overcompeting. You need to train more. Get your body ready to compete. And the other thing is, too, is you have a limited amount of emotional and physical capital. If you burn through it in middle school and high school, you're going to wrestle 1 year in college, you're going to be done. Because you've burned through your emotional and physical capital. Not everybody can wrestle like me. I wrestled until I was 38 years old. But I didn't start until I was 11. I didn't get serious about it until I was 13. But I wrestled until I was 38. I was a freak on the back end. Some of you are freaks at the front end. You're winning midget national tournaments, but Cale Sanderson doesn't care. Tom Ryan don't care if you were an 11 and under national champ. That means nothing. Here are the things that they're looking for. You want to know what every college coach is looking for? I'm going to tell you right now. It's real simple. There's some metrics. Number one, are you willing to fight? Are you willing to fight? Not punch people in the face, but are you willing to fight? Are you willing to work hard? Or are you going to listen to the coach? If you can do those three things, I don't care what kind of an athlete you are. And that's coming from someone who, if they were president, would make every kid do gymnastics from 5 to 11. I can take a kid who's willing to fight, work hard, and to listen to me, and I can get him on the podium. But if you're not willing to do it, I don't care how talented you are, you're just going to be a coach killer. And that's what A talent and C effort is. They're coach killers. Now you give me B talent and A effort, that makes coaches look like a superstar. That's what it does. So that's what most, if not all, coaches are looking for. Now, yes, would I love a 4-time Fargo national champ at Wheaton College? Yeah, I would. Be an idiot not to. But I'm not going to get that unless they do what I did. And I wasn't even a 4-time. I just placed 3 times. What are some conventional wrestling beliefs of your own that have changed over the past 5 to 11 years? So some of it is basics and advanced basics still win matches. Okay? There's a lot of, what's the newest game and toy? Like you got Seth Gross online talking about sprawling is bad. It's bad for him, but sprawling is still a thing. Everybody wants to turn the corner and they blow up their LCO. Seth Gross was designed by God not to sprawl and to turn corners. And he's really good at it. But if you're built like me, I'm not turning a corner. I'm going to punch you so hard with my hips, it's going to concuss you. I'm going to flatten you out. So sprawling is still a thing. All the basics you learned as a kid, stance, motion, penetration, hips in to win, all still a thing. Yes, there's going to be funk, I think is cool. It's added some dynamics. I mean, Jax Forrest is really good at it, right? But I'm not going to have him come in and do a clinic because only he wrestles like that. And he's really good at it. Why would I have him come in and show what he does? Show me the solid stuff that everybody else is going to use to win matches. Okay? Some things have changed. Yeah, absolutely. The athleticism in wrestling right now, people are like cartwheeling out of arm throws. All the more reason to do gymnastics. That's the biggest thing. I was never taught to gymnastics when I was a kid coming up. It was all power. So I'm a power wrestler. I could scramble, but I'm still not the scrambler that Jax Forrest is, nor will I ever be. Nor would I ever been if I trained it the way he does. He's just got a different body type. I'm short and stocky. I'm going to be a power wrestler that occasionally scrambles. Jax Forrest is going to be a scrambler wrestler that occasionally uses some power. That's going to take too long to answer.
You guys have any questions?
Yeah. Is there anything out there? Anything?
Especially guys in high school that are thinking about wrestling or anything in college.
You should give it a year. Everybody should give 1 year of wrestling college.
Why did you decide to go pro level?
When it didn't seem wrong. It seemed wrong to stop. Like I was made to wrestle. It would have been like throw up in my mouth a little bit. Stop wrestling. Right?
Yeah.
I talked about it with my mom. She's like, yeah, but you haven't tried for the Olympics yet. And you're like, you're right, I haven't. And I said I was going to. Why am I stopping? This doesn't make sense. But I didn't know what to do. I was ignorant. I didn't know how to get to that. And I was ignorant about college too. I'm first generation college. No one showed me how to get to college. I had to do it myself. I had to figure it out. I didn't apply to go to college until 3 weeks before it started. Yeah, that's not the way you should do it. But no one was there to tell me. Dad went to a Milwaukee Journal. What's that?
I don't think it works that way anymore. You probably should apply sooner.
Yeah. Now you can still get in. I mean, and if you're a sick athlete, they'll get you in, right? Being good at things will open doors for you. It's just like being handsome or pretty. It'll open doors that short, ugly guys will never get, right? It's just part of it. It's part of life. You get hired for jobs that I won't. Okay. Find a way to claw your way to the top. That's what I did. And as far as wrestling, you want a mindset? For me, this is what I thought. The only will greater than my will is God's will. I stepped on the mat. I don't care who that person was. My will was greater than your will. I wanted to beat that person so badly. I wanted to be pissed at his parents for having children and letting them wrestle. That's how badly I wanted to beat people. I wanted people afraid to wrestle me. Not cheating, not doing anything illegal. I just wanted to be a force of nature. I wanted to be primal. So my will was greater than everybody else's will. The referees, my coach, the opposing coaches. If his grandmother in the stands that wanted to wrestle him, brutalize her grandson so badly she had a heart attack and went to heaven. That's just, yeah. And I wasn't a hate wrestler either. Hate will only kill you. I just love to beat people up. Yeah.
What would you say about the pressure and anxiety that you might face, especially like as a woman wrestler?
Nah, it's a woman, man. Listen, fear is no respecter of gender, young lady. Okay? It's all the same. You're going to operate in one of three lands: fear, facts, or faith. Fear, facts, or faith. Fear is one of the greatest cripplers of mankind. And by mankind, I mean men. Okay. So that's why you got to look at the facts. Do I have good training partners? Do I have a good coach? Listen, when you step on the mat, okay, this is a practice mat, right? There's you, a partner, a coach, and a wrestling mat. When you go to competition, guess what you have? You, an opponent, a coach, and a wrestling mat, right? So the only thing that changes is location. That's it. Everything else is the same. You've got another human being. So, what are the facts? I've wrestled against good people in the room. I've mastered certain techniques. My conditioning is good. Now, I'm speaking for me. I can't speak for you. But this is what was going through my mind. I have good partners, good training, good conditioning. I should win this match. Now it's just willpower. So, those are the facts. And then the last part's faith. It's faith. Because sometimes you're going to listen, some other times I stepped on the mat and I was wrestling a world champ. The facts were against me. I wasn't a world champ. The guy that I'm wrestling is a world champ. I beat world champs. Why? Because I had faith. Faith in what I did. Faith that on any given day anybody can beat anybody. Listen, there are people that you can pin that you can't beat. Does that make sense? They're going to out-technique you, they're going to out-strength you, they're going to do something. You can still stick them. There's always a chance. So I loved living, and there's always a chance. And so then it comes down to willpower. It comes back to willpower. I refuse to relent. I refuse. I'm going to fight with every last drop of blood in my body. You need to understand. You're going to ask, there's going to become a time. Because winning hurts. I'm going to finish with this. Winning hurts. A lot of coaches aren't going to tell you this. Winning hurts more than losing in almost every situation. Look at David Taylor's face when he won the 2021 Olympics. He dropped to his knees in agony. People are like, oh, look, he's celebrating. He wasn't celebrating. The only thing he could do at that point was drop to his knees and scream out. He was in agony. Look at his face. We think he's celebrating. He was just trying to survive that moment. Winning hurts. Taking first hurts. Taking second hurts more. Taking second sucks. It does. It hurts more than winning. Because you're at the same level, same output, not the same reward. Third place, you finish on a win. And the only thing worse than second, for me, in my opinion, is fourth. Because you don't even get a medal. You don't get to stand on the awards platform. It's first, second, third. It's gold, silver, bronze. Now it's gold, silver, bronze, bronze. I missed the moment. Right? I took fourth in the world. Now I'd be a bronze medalist. Now.
Bronze B.
Yeah, bronze B. That's it. But still a medal, right? Bummer. So understand that. If you want to win, you're going to have to suffer. You're going to have to do things that other people are unwilling to do. I'm not talking cheating. I'm just talking legally, morally, ethically. You're going to have to do things that other people are unwilling to do. So you're going to have to suffer. You're going to have to ask your body to die sometimes. It's going to say stop, and you're like, shut up! We're doing this. And there's other times you do listen to your body. There's rest and renewal are part of it as well. So understand, if you want to win, you want to be a state champ, you're going to have to suffer. And I don't know, there could be a person in the room right now that is a state champ, be a national champ, go on and win the Olympics. Why not? I was a little kid like you were, sitting in wrestling practice at one point. People were talking to me, building into me, loving on me. Why not? If him, Why not me? It's choice. It's choice. So I'll finish with that. And the last thing, listen to the people who love you. Please, 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 please. Don't follow those knuckleheads on social media. They don't like you. They don't love you. They're not for you. They're not. Listen to the people that love you. Your parents, your teachers, your coaches, ministers if you go to church. And yes, 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 yes. Are there dirtbag parents? Yes. Are there dirtbag coaches? Yes. Are there creepy teachers? Occasionally. Are there creepy ministers? Yes, they exist. But by and large, we're just adults who are flawed, made mistakes. We love you more than you love yourself. We love you more than we love ourselves, and we want the best for you. So we're going to point you in the right direction. You think that we're trying to restrain you and restrict you, we're not. We're trying to protect you and help you. We're trying to help you grow in an environment that will keep you from making dumb mistakes that we did. So please, 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 listen to those who love you. Find something bigger than yourself to help you make those right decisions. For me, it was Jesus. For you, it's got to be something too. This works, but I'm not pushing this on you anymore. I'm going to push what I showed you. You were here, I showed you some technique. I can't make you love it. I can't make you use it. I just showed you. It's on you to figure out that thing that you need in your life that's going to help you make this right decision. Because honestly, there's a lot of people who train hard. A lot of people who train hard. What disqualifies most people from getting to the elite level are not the things they do in the room, it's the things that they do when they walk out of it. It really is. I was not the best athlete at the Olympic Training Center. There were guys that terrified me. They were so athletic. They were freaks. Unbelievable. They made really bad life choices. And so I came out of a know-nothing college and did this at the Olympic level. They came out of D1 schools and did this or did this. They were superstar athletes that went whoomp. I was a very good athlete. I'm not going to undersell what I was. I was a very good athlete. But I was not a superstar. But I did this. Why? I was willing to suffer and I made better choices. All right, so thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I'll be over there if you want me to, if you want to buy a book. You know, clap for yourselves. You guys all did a good job. Good job.
Thank you.